Hello, 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 and welcome to today's episode of Her Version. This podcast is dedicated to sharing stories of struggle and triumph, a platform that allows individuals to tell their truth in order to inspire and uplift others. For those of you that are new to this podcast and like content like this, make sure you hit that subscribe button. Make sure you follow, like, and share. I am your host, Sabrina Victoria. Let's jump right in. Hello, and thank you for joining us today on this episode of Her Version. The Her Version platform is built on storytelling and the understanding that many times our greatest learning experiences come from listening to other people's stories. Today, I am speaking with an amazing woman named Bridget Hom. Bridget is a professional emotional intelligence life and business coach. She focuses on helping entrepreneurs and leaders in industries to partner with their future successful selves, gain a romance with life, ooh la la, and create empowered client interactions. Bridget is here today to talk about her journey through addiction, motherhood, and how her life has landed her on a path of entrepreneurship. Welcome, Bridget. How are you?
Thank you so much, Sabrina. I'm fantastic. So distraction
I can't personally answer that, but I'll let the audience answer that because Girl, I've already mastered that. But yeah, I could agree with you. If I think back in my past, yes, 100%. Turning the TV off for long periods, like days at a time. Yeah, 100%. Social media. Yeah, 100%. That's one of the hugest things that I've done in my life is turned all my notifications off. I mean, it made a world of difference for me when I did that years ago. But yes, 100% to everything you're saying.
Well, yeah, I mean, when I talk about, and sometimes I talk about this, the spiritual battle, if we take it to the spiritual level, or if we take it to a level where you don't see spiritual good and evil. If you scroll through social media, when that's your go-to to just go directly to your phone.
Yeah.
If you notice, like actually something I share with people all the time, I said, notice what you're thinking and manifesting while you're observing and absorbing what you're scrolling through. If it's constantly partnering you with procrastination, comparison, resentment, fear, feeling less than, then it's pretty much go through the 7 deadly sins: pride, lust, envy, sloth, greed, gluttony, right? Impulsivities, inconsiderations, etc. Go through those things. And you're like, man, do I want to be partnered with this? It's getting to that level of self-awareness where you actually know that you're making a decision. It's getting decisive and knowing that what we're doing right now, what we're thinking, what we're feeling, what we're saying, what we're doing is leading us towards a destination. And are you satisfied with the destination you're heading to?
So somebody who is doing this, where they're noticing that they're going on social media, a few of the deadly sins are creeping in and they're acknowledging it now. They're like, I listened to Bridget. I consciously was scrolling and seeing what was coming up for me. If they do notice this stuff, what is your advice? What should they do?
Well, first of all, anyone who's doing that right now, I'm celebrating that awareness for you.
Good
right?
job, Pete.
Celebrating that awareness, because it's always about awareness.
Yeah.
And then action.
Yeah.
So you can't just say, I'm going to stop scrolling. I'm going to stop scrolling. And then it's like drinking. I'm going to stop drinking. I'm going to stop drinking. You're eventually going to drink, right? You're going to keep scrolling. So you have to put something positive in place of that. You have to give yourself an anchor. And an anchor is a tangible reminder of the new ways of thinking, being, and doing you want to practice. A tangible reminder of something new that you want to implement. So instead of scrolling, go to writing. Instead of scrolling, go to do 10, 15 push-ups. Instead of scrolling, replace it with a positive shift, because you must replace it or else you're going to go back to that old program of, okay, I have nothing to do right now. It's like, wait, pause with a purpose. You absolutely have a million other good things to nurture your authentic self, to reach out to your grandma, to do. You absolutely have something else to do that you can have a romance with life about.
Yeah.
This is going to steal your joy. Stop letting distractions steal your joy.
How can somebody look at social media and not have those feelings?
Well, by practicing all the strategies that I could absolutely give you, honoring your top priorities,
I love it.
making sure that you're intentional. Like, I'm not selling my program. I'm literally telling you, own your intentionality, own that self-awareness, and own the fact that you are making decisions and selling yourself on your truth, your reality.
Sorry.
No, your daily reality every day. Like, just realize that you're making a decision. That's the one thing that you can do. I'm deciding to scroll right now. And then you're like, oh, stop living under the influence of circumstances, environments, situations, or feelings. Become the influence in your life and acknowledge that you're making decisions every moment of your day.
Absolutely. That just kind of hit a, so when I'm scrolling, I'm just looking for business ideas.
Right.
Like I'm like, how the hell did she do that? I need to learn how to do that for my business. That's all I'm doing when I'm on social media. But I understand what that most people don't do that. But this is interesting for me. So that you're saying this. So if I was an individual and I'm speaking, as an audience, as the audience listening here, would a better way of scrolling, as you're saying, to acknowledge, be aware, is shifting your thought process intentionally from maybe jealousy? Is that one of the seven deadly sins?
It is actually. Yeah.
Is it? Okay. Jealousy to what? To what? What? To admiration, to something
purpose.
to work towards, to being grateful. Go ahead.
You actually hit the nail on the head. You said, when I scroll, I have a purpose. You're doing business. You have a purpose to it. Just attach
people do it though who don't have a purpose though. So I think you and I are different.
That's a good question. So now, anyone who's listening, I challenge you to find purpose in your scrolling. And if you don't, well, that's a moment of contrast, and you get to look at that and decide to do different.
Okay. So everyone should scroll with purpose. So people who really like fashion, scrolling with the intent of
launching a fashion company, of getting inspired. Like you were saying, if you're scrolling, you're getting inspired by new ideas. Do everything with purpose. I mean, everywhere I go, I'm even in line at a Starbucks or wherever, and I am purposely intentional about empowering that person in front of me at the cash register, wherever. I'll ask, what's going well? I will listen. It's literally living intentionally with purpose, being present, and knowing that you're always heading towards a destination. And are you happy with where you're headed? Do you have a destination? I think everyone deserves to have their destination be their future successful self, because you feel good. It makes you feel good. And we deserve to have that.
So it's taking away from, it's not taking away. It is changing your thought. So you're saying scrolling through social media isn't per se bad, but changing it so that you're always going in with a purpose. So focus. So then that actually makes it going from something that's time consuming or a waste to something that's actually benefiting you for the future, but you're still doing the same action. Ooh, I like that.
Look at you. Yeah. I love that. It's exactly, I agree with you wholeheartedly. Yes, living with purpose.
Very cool. That's fantastic. I wrote down something here, spiritual battle. What does that mean?
Fascinating. So spiritual battle, I mean, I have a couple of interesting books that I can recommend. I'm reading right now, what's on my desk is Outwitting the Devil by Napoleon Hill, The Secret to Freedom and Success, same author of Think and Grow Rich. I also have the Screw Tape Letters, which is a very interesting read. Just look up Screw Tape Letters on Amazon. It's how to figure out the spiritual battlefield. That's specifically from a Christian perspective, although he was an atheist originally. So it's a very fascinating thing. The spiritual battlefield is kind of going against what's negative in human nature. This is the way I could describe it best on a secular level. It's going against what you know to be negative within our human nature and doing the opposite of what will encourage community, encourage unity within and alignment within your mind, body, and spirit. And that positive energy. It's doing what we all know will empower humanity. Like we all have this innate knowledge. Isn't that fascinating? We all want happiness, joy, peace, etc. And we all want to further that for other people. So it's practicing those things that we know are good for us and for others. And then we could always take it to the next level of good, evil, Satan and God, and we could do that. The best way I can explain that, if we have a second, is that okay?
Yeah.
So I'm thinking about starting this ministry. And, the truth is that, fish, when they're caught in a net, if you're a fisherman, anyone who likes fishing here, you'll get this. When fish are caught in a net, they swim down. They swim directly down, right? And you know that they're not going to get through that net.
Yeah.
So they swim down, but the truth is, to get freedom, they have to not rely on what they believe to be true. They have to rely on something different, something that's against their nature to get them to the freedom. So they have to swim up to jump out of the net. And so the truth is, if you're living in the spiritual battlefield, and we get trapped in the net of depression, lies, inauthenticity, pride, lust, envy, whatever. If we swim down, if we do what we think is best and trust our own instincts, sometimes we're going to stay trapped. And so the spiritual life, when you get to partnership with God and getting to know, discerning what is his will for you or what he thinks is best or et cetera, or that spiritual journey, you start to swim up. You start to move against that natural current that might be negative within us. And you do the opposite. You do what's different that will actually serve you in growing in that positivity, that alignment, and serving people around you.
Definitely makes sense. I agree. You said you're thinking about starting.
Oh yeah. I'm thinking about starting Swim Up Ministries.
I love it.
Thank you.
Very cool. What does that look like for you?
Oh, well, it's just at the beginning. I'm not 100% sure, but it's going to be helping people to decipher the spiritual battlefield within their lives, from a secular level to the Christian level. So we're going to have those, because you want to meet people where they're at. That's the definition of ministry, and what I believe. And so it's really going to be helping people to decipher what's positive and negative within their lives and go to the multiple levels of spirituality. And then launch it into action, right? It's all about action.
Yes, 100%.
Thank you.
That is fantastic. I absolutely love it. This was great. This was absolutely phenomenal. I so appreciate you being here, hanging out, sharing some of your goodies with us. For those of you that resonate with Bridget and everything that she is sharing here, make sure you connect with her. Her Calendly link, or her link, I guess, to her calendar is right here, bridgethom.me. And then her website that you have your social media?
I do not, but you can find me anywhere, LinkedIn, Facebook.
Okay, very cool. So check out her website. And then she's at Bridget Hom on all social media. So make sure you connect with her. And she is obviously, as you can tell at this point, all about helping the humans rise, which is what the Her Version podcast is all about. So I thank you so much, Bridget, for being here, hanging out. Thank you for taking some time to share with our audience all of the goodness that you have to share. For those of you that are watching on the replay, make sure you hashtag replay so that we know that you were here and you were hanging out and we can send you some love. This community is expanding every single day and is filled with females who are striving to do better than they did yesterday. For those of you that are new to this podcast and like content like this, make sure you hit that subscribe button, follow, like, and share. If you have an amazing story to share of struggle to triumph, be sure to reach out to me here or at herversion.life. I am your host, Sabrina Victoria, and I'm so grateful to be here sharing a platform that allows people to share their truth and inspire others. As